right, welcome to another episode of William's Way, and today is a Spidey day.
Woo!
I have my boy Nicky, Lazos.
What's going on, everybody?
My bro Myles Williams.
What's going on, man? What's up?
And Bryan Hill.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me back, Mark.
Yep, anytime. And so, let's dive into this. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Y'all know the big Spider-Man No Way Home just dropped.
Yep.
And let's get into it. So I'm going to say my first time I saw the trailer, I'm not going to lie, I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And here's why. And here's why I didn't like it. Knowing how Doctor Strange is when I first saw it, know how strict he is with time, how strict he was, like especially in Infinity War with the Time Stone, and how he's like, 14,605,000, all that. He was so strict through that whole movie. He even fought Thanos a certain way in Infinity War like that.
Right.
And just to have like Tom Holland run up to him and just say, "Oh yeah, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. Can you mess with time?" So you're telling me Doctor Strange is going to mess with the whole universe just because some little kid is coming up to him, messing with time. Knowing Doctor Strange, he would laugh in his face and be like, "No, I'm not doing this."
Yeah.
But how they did it was they really made it bad. They put you in Tom Holland's shoes to make you see how bad it was.
Yeah.
And you realize, like, yo, this is
messed up.
And the crazy thing is, too, like,
Yeah.
the fact that it was in the 2020-esque kind of movie with social media and everything, and everybody knows, not just, it spread so quick, it really puts you in his shoes of, like, man, this is, like, you would do the same thing if you were him. Like, if you were in his shoes.
And
for
to add
sure.
to that, because I thought, honestly, WandaVision would be the one to crack the universe. And that would make more sense.
Right.
That would make more sense. And I was worried
in the comic
that
book she does that.
And I was worried that they wouldn't make a good movie. Even actually, it's an article. Tom Holland was actually worried about the script. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Yeah, they kept changing it.
Yeah, he was. He didn't have faith in this movie. He did not think they could pull it off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
See, that's what I'm saying. To add to that,
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with the amount of people they wanted to bring back.
Wait. Spoilers.
Spoiler.
Let's just like
Well,
make
I think at the
let's make
beginning
a
of the
set
video.
thing like spoilers.
I mean, they know.
Yeah, we're gonna say.
The ban is
Nice.
lifted by the time it's been lifted for like.
True.
All right, everybody, this video has spoilers this moment going forward. Okay?
Yeah, so
we don't know when they're gonna come up, but they're gonna come up. We're gonna drop some names.
They are. But no one really dropped names really yet.
Not yet.
So
Not
Tobey
yet.
Maguire, am I right?
Okay.
Oh my God! There you go.
There it is.
We got the first one out.
All
We
right.
got the
There it
first
is.
one out.
We got to get back to that one
Yeah.
later on.
Bro, we're coming back to that. We're coming
I
back.
understand where you're coming from. When you first see the trailer, but again, it's just a trailer. You gotta wait until the movie comes out.
Yeah.
I think the way they brought back the villains was pretty cool. How obviously like Doc Ock and then Green Goblin and Electro. My only thing was like when they came back, why? And I don't know why, but why were they like different? Does anybody know why? Like Electro wasn't blue.
That's a good question.
It's funny. I mean, with this is most apparent with Electro, obviously, because. And this was something that I was questioning from the trailers. Like, I was like, why is this? It doesn't really make sense.
This doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
But the movie did it in a way that is so, like, meta. And, like, it's so unique in the sense that they didn't try to give us too much explanation.
Right.
But they did it in a way that was like, okay, if you just buy into this, we're in this incredibly, I don't want to say stupid, but just unbelievable situation already.
Right.
So it's like, we're going to take something, and like in the movie, they explain it as, like, the energy here, right? The energy's different.
Right.
And if you look at it through that scope and that lens, like, at the end of the day, the energy in the MCU is way fucking...
way different.
Scaled tenfold compared to that of the Amazing Spider-Man or even Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. Like, you really got to take into perspective that, like, a character that is based solely off of his absorption of energy, like, that was enough for me. Of an explanation.
I agree.
Me too.
That gave him a reason to actually want to stay in that universe too.
That too.
It gave him a reason to want to.
Because he had nothing else holding him to the other.
Exactly.
He had
He's
nothing
like, man,
else holding
look at how I look.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good.
That's a good reason.
I thought it was, and it was like, like even like the smallest detail, I realized like Doc Ock's like coat was different. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? The
that's
other
true.
one was like
Yeah.
a leather
Yeah.
one. This
Yeah.
one was just like a
little bit,
cloth,
yeah.
kind of like it's like the small details.
Well,
but
I don't know if that was something that they intended.
That
or
probably
was
wasn't
just
like
it
that.
wasn't,
yeah.
but like me just knowing these movies and just paying
Yeah.
close
You
could
attention, I was
see
like,
it,
oh,
yeah.
he was
You could see
different.
it.
Electro was different. Sandman, he wasn't huge. Like he was just all
Yeah.
sand.
That was
Yeah,
sand.
I'm
So
gonna ask you
that-
that.
there's
Yeah,
a-
that's
there's
what
an
I'm gonna ask you
explanation
guys.
for
Why
that.
do you guys
What
think
was
that
it?
is? You know it?
So, Thomas Hayden Church. I think
Yeah,
is his
yeah.
name.
Oh, yeah.
He actually and Rise Ephons, whatever, the guy who played the lizard.
Man.
Neither of them could be on set, so they only were there to do the lines somewhere else. Separate.
Right.
So I think they tried to kind of incorporate. At least this is how I took it.
Yeah.
That being Sandman is almost like a degenerative disease, and
Right.
now he can't
Okay.
leave this form.
Right.
At least that's how I justified
In
it in my
that
mind.
in this universe,
In
right?
this-
Probably
yeah,
in
right,
that universe.
right.
That's
In
why
that
Electro
universe.
changed. And
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they
Because
all
also
had,
we
that's
don't-
the thing. They all had it was smart. They
Yeah.
didn't, but they made it work.
And they did, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And the thing is, I think that Sandman is taken maybe a year or even a couple of years after Spider-Man 3. Like,
Yeah,
we
'cause
don't
that
know
happened
when he was
later.
taken. Yeah,
That's the thing.
they weren't clear on that. So,
Not
don't
sure
know.
when.
so it could have progressed.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
It could have been. Well, because when you first see him in the movie, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he sees Electro. He goes. There's like they say they see monsters flying in the air. So he goes out to like where all these like he's out in the field. People that have seen the movie, and then you see Electro. He's in the air collecting all this energy. Then Sandman comes up from the ground, and then he says, "Peter, what are you doing here?" And then he actually helps him a little bit because he's like, "I know this is Spider-Man. He's dressed like him,
Yeah.
but he thinks that it's
that's true.
Toby's Peter, but it's not.
It's
So
not.
I mean, it could have been the moment where Toby's Peter Parker forgave him.
Yeah.
That could have been when he got pulled.
Yeah, it could have
Yeah.
even been.
It could have been right there,
a
or it
couple
could have been
months after
5
that.
years
Months after
later.
that.
And that
Five-
would explain why he's degenerating so much and why he's stuck in this sand.
Right,
Because
right,
maybe
right.
if more time has passed, like, okay, it's getting a little more serious. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
And maybe he really does need to get cured.
Yeah.
Or it could be something with his daughter, because you talked about at the end of the movie. It could be something that happened to his daughter. You don't know in that time.
You don't
Yeah.
know.
You don't know.
Yeah, you never
so-
know. You never know.
And another thing is that I found interesting about when you pointed out that he thought Tom Holland's Spider-Man was Tobey Maguire. Not a lot of people. I don't see a lot of people even on the internet bringing this up.
Yeah.
But Sandman was the only, at least, villain that was in this movie from the past villains that had seen Spider-Man in his symbiote suit. So
Right.
he saw him rocking the black suit, and
Oh,
he was
yeah.
thinking
I
like
was like,
he would recognize, like maybe another person
Maybe-
would be like, "That's not Spider-Man. Spider-Man's
Right.
amazing."
He saw it.
Mm.
It was
So-
dark outside.
it was dark outside.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
He's flipping around
Flipping
like him.
around.
He looks like him. He's
Yeah.
using
That's a good-
webs like him.
Yeah.
So he's like,
I like
oh,
that.
that's
Yeah.
Peter. He got
Yeah.
the... And he's like,
Yeah.
all right, man, I'm going to help
I
you
like
out.
that.
Because the last time
Yeah.
they fought, well, we all know, man.
It's just a little Easter egg.
Yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
Easter egg. That is a little Easter egg. That's very interesting.
And that was another like thing. Maybe that made me think of back to your point about the trailer. Like, and me being a little unsure. Like, I was obviously super hype. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
like,
No, yeah, me too.
but like, the one thing that was, I don't know, confusing me or just I was kind of like, what are they doing? Was the amount of costumes that I was seeing, like not only from the trailers but from like the toys and stuff. And I was like, how are they gonna justify all these?
Yeah.
But it worked really well with the Inside Out costume.
It did.
And
because-
everything in the plot, I think, incorporated so well. Like, it never felt like, oh, he's just getting a new suit.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it was an
yeah,
issue.
yeah.
Yep. Everything had a reason behind it.
Yeah,
everything.
The Inside Out suit because he got someone threw paint on him,
Yeah.
and then what did you
Stereo
guys?
forever.
What did you think about when Green Goblin and like Aunt May
Yeah.
when they were at Feast?
Yeah.
Loved
Like,
that.
did you like that? How did you?
I loved that.
Do you like
I
that
liked
scene?
I thought it was a great, like, turn. Like, you know, films need twists and turns
Oh,
all
of
the
course.
time.
Yeah.
You never want a film to do exactly what you're expecting it to
right.
do.
Of course not. No.
And in doing not exactly what you're expecting it to do, it's kind of doing what it's expected to do at the same
Right,
time. You know what I mean? But
right.
like, so it was kind of clear that Green Goblin wasn't going to be massacring Aunt May like right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe we weren't so expecting to totally see him be so vulnerable.
With him, like we said, everybody else changed. You think like he got worse by coming to another youth? That could have messed him up even more. I think him going, because like in the Toby films, he wasn't really like just a psycho. Like he obviously was a psychopath, but he wasn't just like a kid. Like a, he was, but like it was like it was a different feel to him this time. Not sure why. And then, like, when he ran away from his mask, he was just he was really freaking out. He's like, someone's living in my home that I'm going to. I don't know what's going on, this thing. He was really vicious. He was fantastic, though. He was... Yeah. He is the Green Goblin. He is amazing. He was the best villain that was in the movie. Like,
and I knew that was going to happen from the get-go.
Yeah. He's untouchable, man. He's... Willem Dafoe is just, there's nothing more.
He is incredible.
Everything we're saying, you guys already know about Willem Dafoe. He's amazing.
I will say the one thing, so I love Alfred Molina in his role in as Doc Ock, and like he's always been iconic in that role. Like no one else. I really don't want anyone else to play that role. I know he was kind of different. Like if you watch other versions of Doc Ock, Alfred Molina is like pretty different. But like I loved him in all of his like in everything he's done with that character. But the one thing like was weird to me with his character this time was like how like generally angry he was all the time and how he would just explode. And like I actually didn't like it the first time I saw it because I thought it was like very uncharacteristic of him. Because like in the other ones he would be very composed, and even when he snapped, there was something controlled about him.
Right.
And he was sophisticated in like a weird way, even when he was going on.
He almost felt highly sensitive in this one.
Yeah.
But
super like
but the one thing that I ended up realizing is like what made it justifiable for me was like after watching it again, was just like thinking about his position in that movie. We haven't seen him in that position before where he's truly compromised. Like, like he can't move. He can't go anywhere. He's stuck in like a box. And he's like, he has these legs attached to him. These arms, they can't do anything.
And there's wizards and alternate universes breaking in. And he died in another, he died in and he's getting all these different things.
And then he
sees,
Norman, and he says, you died, but I'm seeing you here. You died years ago, and then apparently I'm supposed to die. You know, you're right, but like that's probably. I think all of them were just so freaked out about not knowing what's going on, and like Aunt May's whole like position in that movie I thought it was perfect. She was everything she was saying. She was his Uncle Ben that we didn't see. So that was she came in clutch, and I thought she was good though.
And that thing about Aunt May is like, this is something I didn't really talk about too much, but I've always kind of like felt like this Aunt May was always the hot, fun aunt. That was it. Like she didn't have any level of like importance really. Like she came and went. Like she had some funny scenes. She's hot. We know. You know what I mean? Like whatever. She's cool. She's funny. She's charming. But like she never had any weight. You know what I mean? Like I remember Aunt May in the original. I mean, even in the Amazing Spider-Man, but in the original trilogy, like she would have some bombs with Peter. Like that scene with where she gave him the money. Like you take this money. You know what I mean? Like she was there. Like it always felt really weighted, and like she was a big part of it. But in this movie, she really stepped up. And she filled in.
It was much needed. And it was about time. Because it comes to the point where you get enough jokes and you get enough like just like, oh, we're just going to ride the coattails of this and then just have fun and then everything's lighthearted. And, I mean, this was the worst Tom Holland Spider-Man besides like fighting in Infinity War. This was like the worst he's been.
He's gotten it.
So he needed that. And he needed her. I'm just gonna spoiler talk, folks. He needed her. She didn't sacrifice herself. But by her dying, really catapulted him into becoming. I don't even
Spider-Man.
think we didn't even see Spider-Man. That was That was Iron Man Jr. That was Iron Boy. That was Iron Boy. Iron Man Jr. That what we've seen. he towards the end of this movie, he finally is stepping into Spider-Man, and then obviously at the end of the movie, not there, but like he finally, by her dying, that really catapulted him to being like, I'm Spider-Man. You're on your own. You got to do what you got to do, and it was by her aid. So I thought by her passing away was a huge major step that he needed. So like that was good writing too. Unfortunate, but like I thought it was needed. And it was good though. It was good. Good acting too.
You know, to go off of what you were saying, like I had been reading like leaks and stuff for a while, and you never know what's true. Like I read all kinds of different leaks. Like I heard everything you could possibly imagine, and some of them came true, but most of them didn't. But one of these things came up one time that said something about how the movie would be like Tom Holland's Spider-Man becoming the Spider-Man he needs to be through other Spider-Man. And it's almost like, and I like to say that this movie is about as Spider-Man as it can possibly get, because it's so meta level Spider-Man that it's literally we're taking a pre-existing Spider-Man and we're turning him into the Spider-Man that we all really grew up on and love and want. And we're doing that through literally putting him in these situations. Like these super duper dramatic, tragic scenarios where he loses his aunt. You know, his identity's revealed to everybody. And he's got to grip it. He's got to grip with this, and he's got to choose. He's got to make a choice. But then we're also literally bringing in the boys. You know what I mean? The two other Spider-Men who've been there, you know?
And adding to that, for me, when I first saw this movie, I had no idea they were going to be in it. I was not. I
stayed away.
I stayed away from everything. So imagine, put yourself in my shoes now, having no idea.
No leaks looking.
Leaks. I went into this movie like expecting like a Far From Home or a Homecoming.
Like,
I went into that.
He would go up against the villains.
For me, it wasn't a 10 out of 10. It was a 20 out of 10. Because from my perspective, I did not see it coming.
Because we have no expectations.
I had no expectations.
You go see it.
Mine was super low.
You're not going in. I'm
I wasn't.
8. You're going in thinking this is 0. Then you get surprised.
And plus,
like,
I really care about Marvel, and if it's bad, I will say it. I care about the product, and I want it to be good. That's why I said earlier, like I didn't like the concept at first, but I really care about.
Fair enough.
I want a good movie. If it's not good, you know, you want good stuff.
That's
from
the
Marvel.
top.
That's the thing that matters.
But you know. Funny in like a really weird way, and this is gonna sound stupid, and you're probably gonna be like, "No, that's bullshit." But like, I had seen so much that it almost felt not real to me. You know what I mean? Like it was
I see.
Like it was like, what if this is all just some sick joke? So there was this part of me that was like, this really small percentage that was like, actually really terrified because I'm setting myself up for all of this, and if it doesn't come true, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? Because there hasn't been any official confirmation, just almost as official as you could possibly get, like teetering, like so close, like stunt doubles and all kinds of crazy shit, but like nothing really confirming it, right? And then that whole time I'm just like, I kept saying this to people, like they were like, "What if the movie sucks?" And I'm like, bro, if Toby and Andrew are in the movie, it could be absolute dog shit, and I would go home
happy.
Yeah.
That's literally all I needed.
I agree with that.
Unless they killed one of them.
And we'll talk about
that.
But
they did. They didn't. But like,
no, they didn't. But yeah,
but they scared the crap out of me.
Everybody.
I was about to sue Marvel.
Yeah, I have something to say about that later.
Yeah, we can get to that.
Yeah, we can get to that.
Bullshit though.
What about when?
I'll tell you why.
What about when they have everybody trapped? Now Peter's Aunt May dies, and he's at
rock bottom.
He's separated from MJ and Ned.
Yep.
What did you think when they said let's contact Peter? When Ned, because think about it, Ned was already testing out the sling. You know, he got a little spark earlier in the movie. So when it's chills guys coming up our like the hair standing up.
Yeah, spider senses.
When they were in Ned's dining room,
sitting there,
sitting down, MJ was like, "I'm going to she had that box that would just send them right back.
Yeah. Can I say something? Whoever wrote that for the introduction
smart.
is a genius.
Genius. Yeah.
Give them a raise right now. Whoever wrote that, pay them an extra million. I'm dead serious because whoever came up with that idea for that, it's
perfect timing.
So good,
incredible.
So
right after the tragedy,
the
worst possible low
180
to the highest possible high.
180. Yeah. What did you think? In
order.
Yeah, bro. In order. What did you think? We just keep going. Everybody goes. What did you think? I want to ask. What did you think when Ned first did the sling ring? And the first sling ring he did, he actually succeeded. So now it's open.
It's open.
What did you think right there? Go ahead.
I knew
for me. They did. That's what I'm saying. They wrote it so well. I still thought it was Tom Holland.
Wow.
I'm looking. I'm like he was saying Peter because he answered.
Yeah, he answered.
He answers.
Right, correct.
Well, it's like Peter. He's looking.
Yeah.
It's like I thought it was Tom Holland at first.
Okay.
But the closer he got,
you started seeing his different outfit.
Because mind you, I'm still in that mode. Like I'm watching. Like I don't.
You don't expect anybody to be in the movie.
I audibly gasped.
You knew.
Listen. When the second he turned, like I didn't process because he's taller and he's a little more lanky.
Tall, but
I didn't process. What processed was when his head turned around and the eyes were
bigger.
gigantic. Yep. And then I was like, "Whoa!"
In
the theater. And then I knew instantly. It was
when he
Garfield.
started running,
and then he started running.
Hopped through the portal,
and then there's those 2 seconds where everybody's cheering, but at the same time it's a little muted, and then he takes off his mask.
And everybody goes crazy.
Like, he didn't fucking stunt them.
He does that.
Crazy.
He's really.
Yeah, he's like, what is going on?
He's like, oh, okay.
Right. They have their moment.
They wrote that so well.
Now
they wrote that so.
We're getting there. Now the intensity is even higher.
Now the real Spider-Man.
Now the real
Now
stepping through.
Now when
here we go though. Here's the setup though. They do that whole thing where he's getting the cobwebs off the roof, right?
I love that
he's off the roof,
bro. That was my favorite.
And then she's like, oh yeah, and he's like. MJ's like, oh yeah, prove you're Spider-Man. He sticks onto the ceiling. And he's like, is that much proof? No, she's throwing stuff at him. You're like, you're not dodging anything. He gets the cobwebs. He lands. Okay, great. Now, what did you think when Ned said, I'm going to try this one more time?
I knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah. Oh, instantly. Immediately. It was clear.
But
when they brought him back, you knew Toby.
I immediately started crying.
Yeah.
Really?
Immediately.
Yeah. Really?
Immediately. I started crying.
Wow.
I was
emotional too.
So I was cutting onions in that theater.
I was crying from Andrew already, so I just
I was so happy.
And then before we get into Toby, I do want to say, Andrew Garfield was not my favorite Spider-Man by any means. Well, he's my favorite in costume Spider-Man, but as a whole,
as a whole.
But this movie, I will say, and you guys are going to disagree with me, he was my favorite Spider-Man of the three.
No, I agreed in this.
He was my favorite Spider-Man of the three.
No. Let me say this. Let me say this is everybody that knows me know how much I love Toby. Yeah. Andrew Garfield, he stole the show to me.
He stole the show. He did.
To me,
100%.
He stole the show.
He stole it from Toby.
Yep.
And he stole it from Tom.
It's just
the emotion.
When you
like he's so funny. He's so sarcastic and he's just perfect.
He was fantastic.
He was great.
Man. He was so great. He was the best part of the movie.
He stole the show.
Clean cut.
Yeah.
We talked about it before.
I have to say,
Toby had great moments too, though.
I think it's safe to say in this room, from how much I've talked to you guys about your feelings on Toby and Andrew and Tom, I think this is just a hunch that I am a huge Andrew Garfield stan for Spider-Man.
Yep.
Like his Spider-Man, when I was younger. So everyone watched obviously the Toby ones over and over again.
Of course.
I watched the Andrew ones over and over again. The first one. Yeah. Because the second one took a while to come out, for 2 years. So I watched the first one over and over. Right. Even after the second one came out, I watched the first one still. Yeah. And I loved his movies. And I feel personally that out of between him and Toby, Andrew got ripped off worse. Because Toby had closure. To be honest, Toby had closure, and Andrew did not.
And this is what happens when you see Andrew Garfield with good writing and a good team behind him.
It's true.
See, when I looked at those old movies, He didn't have the team
and freedom.
But
and
Amazing
freedom.
Spider-Man was good.
The second one
was just...
I feel like
the first one was one of my
But
favorite.
It was good.
Even the second one, like,
but you see,
I go back to it, and
Yeah.
the best parts of those movies are he's so caring with the kids, with the kids,
with the
and with
kids
Electro
scenes gets
too.
me.
Yeah.
He's like, Max, come on, man, you're not nobody, you're somebody, you know, whatever. Like
He's
he was
we're
so
a team, man.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
he,
so
all I'm saying is
good,
though,
bro.
you see what happens when he gets the best writing around him.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
And when they give
It's
him
like-
liberty with the
That's
character.
what- right.
At the end of the day,
That's the
Andrew
thing.
Garfield is an amazing classical actor.
That's the thing about
Yeah.
this
And
movie.
you take an actor like that
Yep.
and you put
I
him
mean-
in a script that doesn't cater to that, that's gonna
Before-
hurt.
I'm a huge,
Before-
and I told you this before, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Andrew Garfield fan.
Yeah,
just
you have.
outside of
Total.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's as a
Like,
whole. He's
outside,
amazing.
just outside
he's
of him.
probably my favorite.
We had that
actor.
conversation before.
Yeah.
You said I remember you said he's the best acting.
Yeah, he's the
out of
best
all the
actor who plays Spider-Man.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
you said that.
yeah, that was the best.
And-
Oh, you go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like you speaking of writing. I thought that, like you said, they got ripped off. I don't want to go too deep because we're talking about this movie, but
Yeah.
Toby's Sam Raimi, and Garfield's Mark Webb.
Yeah, that's
Correct.
Right. That's right.
His
That's right.
director.
Yeah.
They both, Sam Raimi, Mark Webb,
They had a
Mark
part in
Webb.
this, yeah.
They both got screwed over by the Sony team.
This is true.
Yeah.
Both of them. I recently discovered that that what happened to Toby was what happened to Garfield Spider-Man as well. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into
Yeah.
too many details because that's like another. It's for another day.
Yeah,
We're talking about
it's
this
not
movie.
For me,
the
that's
movie.
true,
but-
Yeah.
For me, you
I
can,
heard
they
that
both got
yeah,
screwed over.
and you can
Tom-
tell
yeah.
like the actors had a lot of freedom in this movie.
Yeah.
They let them.
Yeah.
Jamie
Like you
Foxx
mentioned-
was saying that.
Jamie
Alfred
Foxx.
Molina was
I
saying
heard
that.
Andrew Garfield in an interview talking
Yeah.
about it.
Did you know?
You know the
like,
line where he says, "I love you guys."
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield came up.
There was something
he
else
was just
he did
telling
too.
them he loved them.
I was gonna say this too.
There's another thing.
When they're all in the we're moving along. When they're all in the school, they're trying to create the antidote for each character. When when Ned says Peter, they all look and start pointing at each other.
Yep.
That was Andrew Garfield's idea as well. When they
To
started
do the
pointing at each
pointing,
other.
yep.
Yeah.
He was like,
good.
"Why don't we just
Yep.
do that?"
He's such a fan too.
So that's
you gotta
that's what I'm saying.
He's
and
so good.
He's
feel
so
for him,
good,
though, in this
and
movie.
they're so good.
good.
It's incredible.
When Tom Holland Spider-Man's on the roof of the school,
Yep.
and then that shot. That's one of my favorite shots in the
That
movie.
is a nice shot.
They had that.
That's a nice
the
shot.
shot is up.
It's like you're looking up.
They look like Batman.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
see the moon,
Bro.
and then they're
You see,
on
like, their
top
head
of
jump
like
down, like-
and they
Yeah.
both jump
And
down.
the funny thing about that is
Oh, man.
there was this concept art from so long ago. It was a Spider-Verse concept art. And it was this weird thing where it was like there was like a TV screen in the background, kind of like the TV screens that we had in this movie. And it actually had Jake Gyllenhaal as like the blonde Peter Parker from Spider-Verse.
Ew.
It was so weird. It was so weird.
Whoa.
Yeah. But on a water gallon thing, whatever you call those things,
Yeah. the tanks.
there's the 3 Spider-Men.
Yeah.
And it was almost just like that. It
That.
was crazy.
Yeah.
So it was like they
That's awesome.
listened
That's
to the
so
fans,
They
cool.
bro.
listen to the
Listen, that's
fans. And that conversation all three of them had about on the same day where
Bro.
Uncle Ben for Andrew and Toby said
Yeah.
with great power, because when Tom Holland said with great power, Toby Maguire finished
Finish it
it,
off.
said comes great responsibility, and it
Yeah.
hit him right there that even Into the Spider-Verse, when you're being Spider-Man, you're gonna lose people. That's
Yeah,
but
that's
that's
true.
that's the toughest part about being a superhero. Like that was beautiful. I thought they asked him where does he go to like just relax.
Yeah.
He goes to the top of the school, and Andrew goes to the Empire State Building. Toby goes to the Chrysler Building. It was just that was a very Spider-Man-y thing. Like they just
Yeah.
go to just hang loose and chill.
They gave the
And, like,
fans what they wanted.
They gave the fans
and
what they
the
wanted.
actors got a lot of freedom too.
They
Even
really-
though Jamie Foxx said they actually did
On the
like a
red
dance
carpet.
party. They actually had a dance party on set.
Really?
Yeah. They hosted a
Wow, I
dance
didn't
party.
know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's how much fun.
I remember
they
on
had.
the red
Yeah,
carpet.
they did Thanksgiving together.
Yep.
See,
Oh, wow, yeah.
that
I
is
learned
good.
that
I had-
Tobey Maguire's vegan too. Side
Yeah,
note.
I knew that.
I did not know that. And
I
they
didn't
were
know
like,
that.
yeah,
He's
what
vegan?
did he eat at Thanksgiving? And I was like, Tobey Maguire's vegan?
I
I didn't know
that.
he's
I-
vegan. Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was
Oh,
the
snap.
Thanksgiving thing was true though. Is it true?
I think
Because
it was-
I'd heard that
I
a
believe
while
it.
ago, but I don't know if that included all of them.
I
Because I,
would
don't know how
believe-
long they were on set. 'Cause
I
I
would
think they were
believe
only
it.
on set for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I
Damn.
heard.
They had 2 weeks.
Okay, so what did I want to also take a shift. What did you think? To me, this movie had like the darkest moment really of any Spider-Man movie I've seen, and I know we've had a lot. Like, and I know you might not agree with me because you think I know you think that like the first one when Green Goblin's beating like the crap out of Toby, that's dark, but that's like 2000 dark. That's like it's not the same. It's like a bad guy beating up someone that happens all the time.
Yeah.
To me, the darkest thing that I've seen in a Spider-Man movie was when Peter was fighting Green Goblin, and Peter was hammering on Green Goblin, and it was doing nothing.
In his face.
And Green Goblin was looking at him and smiling, and then Green Goblin just smashes him through the floors, like all that. Like that's something like we've never seen something like that.
So let me add this. Now we can get into Toby. So this is why it really hit for me. You really get to see, because let me start from this. I'm into sports, so like competition matters. Like when you get to a championship, your opponents around you, who you go against, truly matters. And this goes to show, this movie, how hard Toby's villains, how hard he had it with his villains.
True facts.
Yeah.
Why is it once a Tobey Maguire villain comes into Tom Holland's universe, he loses somebody immediately?
That's so true.
That just goes to show how hard
true.
Toby villains had it. And also, people don't really pay attention to this as well. On the scene with the bridge where Tom Holland fights Doc Ock, Tom Holland didn't get one punch on Doc Ock on that fight.
Wow.
Even with the legs.
The whole time, he's either running or dodging. He didn't get one hit on Doc Ock on that.
I'm not surprised, man.
It just goes to show how hard Toby's villains are.
Yeah.
I will. My shoe's on
His
my
shoe
shoulder.
is on his shoulder.
I'm sorry, guys. You can't see this. But my shoe is hanging on my
that's
shoulder.
That's a big.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say the one thing that they did in this movie that was like different is that when you have a villain like Green Goblin, they don't make villains like that anymore, really, because people want villains who have a reason. But when you have a villain whose sole purpose is evil for the sake of evil, that's a different thing. Because even when Green Goblin really takes over,
Heath Ledger's Joker in that sense.
Yeah. Like Green Goblin, in this, right? Like all Green Goblin wants is really
to see
it's all about power and to see who will break and who will fight back. So
see a hero fall.
Yep.
See it fail.
He's just
he's
like
I tried.
But that's the thing. He's Tom Holland hasn't had to deal with that. Yeah. Because villains who have a reason will often pull their punches. You have Vulture. Vulture did not want to even deal with him.
He was good.
Vulture by the end he was beating him to a pulp because he's you are ruining everything for my family.
He
was for his family. He was a family guy.
So
he still didn't sell him out after.
No, and he was good. Yeah. You have that, right?
Yep.
And then you have the second one. You have Mysterio. Mysterio, that was different because he's also human. Yeah. So he's limited by his technology, and sure, he is pretty ruthless, but his main goal is just attention for himself.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Spider-Man.
He doesn't really want to deal with him.
No.
But then you have Green Goblin, and then Green Goblin's literal sole purpose is to just break Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's his goal.
And now he's got a whole new fresh Spider-Man to break.
Yep. Yeah. And you figure this kid's new too. So it's not he's dealing with Toby, who even though he was a similar age in the first one, he had himself way more together because there's a difference between 17 or 18 and 15 and
Oh, it's a huge difference.
To me, Toby kind of had it together a little bit sooner. Yeah. But then you deal with someone like Green Goblin who's just I have literally nothing to lose, nothing to fight for. I'm just literally trying to mess with you. Yeah. So I mean that's the other thing. That's the other reason why he lost someone. He hasn't dealt with someone who's literally just been trying to ruin his life.
That's true. That's very true.
That's the other
good point.
That's very true.
I didn't think of it like that.
And I will say he's not as good a fighter as Toby. That's a fact. No. He's not because he relies too much. He's relied on a lot for a while.
Technology, yeah.
That's why he's not Spider-Man.
That's a side note, but also
but it's true though.
It's true though.
But also, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. He was crafty enough to think, hey, I'm going to use this nanotech to, take over Doc Ock's, arm.
Smart.
So it's like he's really a tech genius.
He is
very.
I mean, he totally and that's where I think Toby really, at the end of the day, looking back on it, lacks. Toby's smart, but he's really not that smart compared to the other
smart.
two.
Andrew Garfield was really smart.
He was the smartest scientist ever.
He was.
Yeah, he cracked the equation
in like
a second. Yeah, literally for
that big equation to help Connors.
Yeah, Connors has been doing that his whole life, and Andrew Garfield comes in and he's just like.
I also just think that also it just depends on. This is another. I just think it depends on like the era of when you release.
That's true.
Oh
That's
yeah,
because like think about it. Like Tom Holland, he's super smart, but like look at what's around him that he already has.
That's true.
Like even like with Iron Man, like I could go on that, but Iron Man is like. Honestly, the smartest. Like he built everything from. He didn't have vibranium to start with. Yeah. So like, I just think that then those movies. I feel like they probably were like, this doesn't even feel too realistic. The fans won't even get into this. So let's just have him as a Spider-Man that goes to school.
Funny.
And he's smart.
And Sam Raimi, so like, he made him have natural webs to begin with. So
that was less.
That's less of a building with technology.
Them making that back then, being like, oh, now he's got to create fluid and then he has to do that. They probably was just like, let's just cut that out and then just make him the human Spider-Man.
You can chalk that up to like what the movie itself was trying to be.
Yeah.
Because I think that those movies originally, and this is part of the reason why I love them so much, the original Sam Raimi trilogies, because they're almost like Greek tragedies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're very sort of simplistic in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But like they all build up to like a big sort of message.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not so much about like the intricacies of human interaction. Like I think like this the new Home series does really well, like putting a modern Peter Parker into a modern society.
Yeah, like
you know
today,
what I mean? Like it makes
modern
sense.
technology with modern superheroes.
Whereas I don't think Sam Raimi's movie was really trying to modernize, but more just trying to make a very general thing and make it timeless in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because of that, he's maybe not as complex of a character.
I gotta ask you guys, what did you think about when all three of them were up there and then they started swinging together?
Oh my god,
that was my favorite part when they're like,
there's just one shot where they like wet each other.
Yeah,
and they like
this is what was going on. You guys are. They were fighting the guy. Yeah. They were running into each other, and they weren't really being a good tag team. And then they were like, one was swinging. The movie was going crazy. It was dark. One swung into another one's web, and then he fell. And then they're like, "What's going on here?" And then I love when Tom Holland's like, "I was in the Avengers." Toby's like, "Cool, what is that?" And then Garfield's like, "We're in a band, And he's like, "Are you in a band?" He's like, "No, it was a team." And then there was like, "Well, let's work together." He's like, Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3. And then he's like, "Let's pick one target." Toby's the veteran. He's like, "Let's pick one target." They're like, "All right." When they slip the mask on and they run across that scaffolding, I just get goosebumps just thinking about it. Yeah. And then at one point when they're swinging around, Tom Holland swings both of them. He pulls webs both of them, and then they land. I don't know if you guys realize it.
Yeah,
when they land in movie order. Toby landed first, Garfield landed second, Holland landed third. When they landed together,
they landed in movie order.
Movie order. That was, and then they just got him. Man, that was beautiful. Beautiful.
And Toby's in the cartoon, the 90s cartoon pose.
That's right. The 94, 98. That's right.
Oh, that cartoon, by the way.
But the cartoon is fantastic. The 1994 to 1998.
I like Spectacular. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
Spectacular.
That's so good. That was good.
That's a good one too.
Yeah. Like then they eventually cure everybody, and then Green Goblin flies in. He's the last one that they didn't cure yet.
I kind of forgot about him.
Forgot about him
before he came back. I forgot about Green Goblin.
And then I like the part with Electro and Garfield. He's like, "Man, I just thought you was black."
Yeah, that was
and then Garfield's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man."
And then he mentioned,
he's like, "There's a black Spider-Man somewhere." Miles. Like that was a little
you know the setup there.
Yeah, a little setup there. We don't know when. I don't know when he knows that.
Yeah, and they
Garfield was just so funny.
And that's another thing, like. Oh, maybe this is a good transition to move on to what's to come.
What's to come, exactly.
You want to get into that?
Yeah, let's get into that. So what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Well,
the future of Spider-Man, because at the end, mind you see let's cap it off. So he gets you see him in the, everyone's erased. They forget he's Spider-Man. You see him with the, the new suit. He gets the new suit. He got the
inspiration from the other.
Classic. Yep. You got both on it. So what do you guys think?
That shiny, slick red.
Now
and blue,
I really think we're gonna see Spider-Man.
Yep, totally.
Finally.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't Spider-Man before.
Yeah.
I refuse to say he was Spider-Man. Yeah. I feel like you can't compare him to the other two yet.
Not yet.
Not even
Not
yet.
yet.
Those
now,
are prelude, man.
It's true. It's
now
true.
you can.
He wasn't really.
And it's crazy because now he can just have so much more because he's already had so much happen to him. So he can be so much deeper. But then, and in the same sense, and I've heard Tom Holland kind of talk about this, like we could stop it here because they could technically be, if you think about it, because it's almost like maybe the whole trilogy itself was literally just getting Spider-Man to be Spider-Man.
Honestly,
you know what I
wouldn't
mean?
be mad at that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't, but at the same time,
yep.
let's get to more of him. He's young.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The whole reason they casted him so young.
And again, we haven't. We haven't seen him as Spider-Man. So give him a chance to be Spider-Man. This is it. This is it. And where we're going with this, I think they're gonna make Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they're making Amazing Spider-Man 3.
I don't know if I think they're gonna do that, but I know we're gonna see Andrew again.
Yeah.
And that's confirmed.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see him and Morbius.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking.
And that's why they're reshooting it right now.
That's what
because damn it, I'm saying it now.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in the post-credit scene of Morbius. Yep. That's why they're moving it to April. Yep. Don't let anybody else. It was supposed to come out January 28th, and they moved it. They said because Spider-Man No Way Home did so well, we're gonna move it. No.
That doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
They're either adding Tobey Maguire. Or they're either adding Andrew Garfield.
I say Andrew Garfield.
That's what I was thinking.
Bro.
It's not. I mean,
yeah.
I think like because we're on the topic of now Andrew Garfield and in Morbius, right?
Yeah.
Another thing I want to pull it back to here is, Morbius clearly is not in the MCU.
Yeah.
And we have confirmation of that now, unless they.
How?
I mean, they could still change it, but we have confirmation of that because the Oscorp building.
But at the same time,
and then they show
in the trailer. I was gonna say in the trailer they show Vulture from Tom Holland.
Something to say about
and then they show Toby's.
I already know where you're going. I already know where you're going.
What if
I already know where you're going.
Side effect?
There we go.
Of all the crap that was happening in No Way Home is that some of the people who know who Peter here get sent to another universe.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is the only valid explanation, and that would make perfect sense why Sony would have pushed this movie back so many times.
Yep.
Because this movie can't come out before No Way Home.
No, because you would spoil everything.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So that's what I think that they're going to.
Do you think so? That if that's the case, is Venom in Morbius too?
Well, and now we have confirmation that Venom lives in that universe because he wouldn't know who Venom was.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like,
Venom's like a household name now.
Guys, in the Morbius trailer, Morbius mentions Venom.
Wow. Unless they just cut that from the film entirely. I guess this is all theoretical because they could cut anything shit from the film.
And literally, it's
like they could totally cut Vulture too. I don't really think they would do that, and I don't think that would make sense.
Right, but they could. I mean, yeah, you're right.
I have some beef with that though. Is that this is just a side note, but this is something that really bugged me in that trailer when Morbius goes like, "I am Venom," like that thing, right?
Yeah.
He didn't enunciate that at all, and the first time I heard it, I had no idea what he was saying. The only way that I knew he said Venom was that someone next to me, I was like, "What did he say?" And they were like, "Did he say Venom?" Like he like that line was rushed.
Yeah.
That's just my side.
Just
getting that out.
Bryan always going on about his diction notes.
But you have to admit, in the original thing, he goes like, "We are Venom." Like it's like a distinct. And he just goes.
He's like in one syllable.
He just goes.
Yes, that's true.
He goes.
Venom.
And I'm like, who's Venom?
Yeah.
Listen, man. If he's in it, I guess that all these people live in Andrew Garfield's. Yeah. And then we can also, guys, go to the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
You could still see.
That's what I was gonna say. I think we're gonna see Toby there.
I think Toby's gonna be back in that.
Because I think Toby was planned from the get-go for that. Because why bring back Sam Raimi? I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also, we have another easy. We have another easy in to bring him in is that Doctor Strange exists in the Sam Raimi universe.
Yeah, he mentioned
they name dropped it.
They name dropped it.
Oh, you're right.
Doctor Strange.
That's a
good
version.
He's
taken.
Yeah. That's true.
It's true.
I forgot
You're
about
right.
that.
He was definitely already. Once they put Sam Raimi on there, and then they had Multiverse of Madness. Toby, I think your boy Toby Mark was coming back regardless.
Yeah, like
regardless, whether they was doing the
Yep.
Spider-Man trio in this movie or not. He was gonna come back in that movie.
Yeah,
for a big role probably too, to help him.
The second I heard it, I was thinking he was gonna be a part of like this team that fixes the multiverse.
And
for some reason, and I still believe that, even if it's not true.
I think he is.
I'm not set, but that's what I
think he is.
Yeah,
because guess what? We all love Spider-Man.
Yeah,
we all love Spider-Man.
And now it's going through so many reshoots. Multiverse of Madness.
It is.
So if he wasn't in it already, he is in it now.
He is now, and maybe even Garfield's in it. Because why not?
It's possible.
Guys, why not?
Garfield
wants to
work with him. I would also love if Sony just, which is what they might have been planning on doing the whole time, is just use him for their Sony villainverse. Garfield is perfect for that. You don't need to give him another movie. I'd like another movie. But I would also kind of like if he was just in a Sinister Six. You
just want to see him.
And just throw him in this movie. And then throw him in this movie.
Exactly.
And then throw him in this movie. And then have his own Sinister Six
like,
with Venom and Morbius and Kraven.
And another thing I heard
is coming out.
Is they're talking about doing something with Spider-Gwen, Emma Stone.
Oh, I
Having
did.
Emma Stone come in and meet as Spider-Gwen, meet Andrew Garfield, like that would be the perfect end of his
beautiful end to his story.
Oh
and if they actually get together, and then he can even explain everything. And she's like, he's like, I lost my Gwen in my world. She's like, I lost my Peter in mine, because that's what happens. And
can we backtrack for a second? Can we go back to when he saved MJ?
Oh my god!
Oh yeah. We can't forget
that. Was
my
you
favorite.
can't forget
the most
that
heartfelt part of the
bro.
movie.
Did you
not
feel that?
amazing.
That was my top
tears, bro.
Top 3.
It hit.
It was amazing.
It hit.
It was amazing.
man.
And apparently that's what sold Andrew on being in the film.
Back.
He was like the redemption
and
saving
saving.
Yep.
And the crazy thing about his is you hear about him saying like I wasn't pulling my punches and you still don't have his closure. Like that was a closure for part of it.
You don't.
He still has more Spider-Maning to do. So I believe he's gonna be in the Venomverse and with Venom and I think he's perfect for that. And I mean, guys, I mean. What we're not? What they released a Toby movie and an Andrew movie. We're not gonna go see those. I mean, come on, man.
I just want to say they're all three. I love all three of them.
Yeah,
they're all different in their own way. Yeah, and they're all amazing.
And it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Exactly.
And it's like why do people need to debate?
You don't have to.
Like,
you don't have to debate this,
like,
guys.
And that's why all the time I'm saying like whenever anyone asks me like who's the best, I'm like. I love them all.
I love them all.
They all bring something different to
the table, and they're all great. They're all great at being.
But Andrew Garfield is the best actor.
He's and everything else.
Everything he does.
He's good at everything he does. Is
he's
just
so
fantastic.
good.
But for like Spider-Man,
I can't give it to him.
Amazing. So
yeah,
we appreciate all of them, and they were what a movie, man. Yeah, what a film.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, guys, I guess that's a wrap, right?
Oh wait, can I do one more thing?
One more thing.
Nicky, there was a bow and everything.
I'm sorry. Last thing, we're gonna see them in Secret Wars. I'm calling
Probably
right now. We're seeing Andrew and Toby in Secret Wars. And back to your thing, I'll make this really, really quick. You brought up that Bryan. You brought up that that was kind of weird what they did with Toby, that fake out thing. He was originally supposed to die. That's what I heard.
Oh yeah.
And I heard that they want to bring him back for more things.
There you go.
If they killed him,
Kevin Feige has plans to bring him back for more.
Bro, I would.
They're officially on the MCU page.
They're officially on the MCU.
MCU
page. Yep.
So Secret Wars. I'm calling it right now.
Toby's not done, guys. Garfield's not done. You know Holland's not done. He signed off for another 10 movies.
They're not. If they kill Toby, I am done.
I agree
if they kill him in a Secret Wars film, I think I'd be okay with that.
I wouldn't though, because he's come so far. The MCU doesn't deserve to kill him.
No, they don't.
He's not there.
I guess that's true.
He's not there. You're so right on that.
He's not theirs to kill.
He's not theirs.
What if they gave
Sam Raimi handle him?
What if they gave him a Logan style movie and then killed him in that? I wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't watch that.
No.
You wouldn't watch that?
Nope.
Directed by Sam Raimi?
Why does he have to die?
I could barely get through Logan, bro.
Iron Man dying was great. How it happened. Didn't want it to happen, but it had to. Right? That was the end of his story.
It was a lot of reason for that.
Toby doesn't have to.
No, it's not.
Because he's an older Spider-Man.
Like,
I don't disagree with
if
that.
they killed Toby, it would make me wish that they never even
brought him back because you just know that he's alive and his
the
universe
third one
doing
was
well.
great.
Yeah.
The third one, the ending of the third one was
dancing.
That was good closure.
And that was good closure for him and his friend.
For him and his friend.
To get 6 movies. I'm still mad about that.
Yeah,
that's another podcast,
guys.
Yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it at.
Right.
Yeah, if they did that, I would wish they never brought
him back in general because you're just teasing us at that point.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I don't want to see Toby die either. I'm just saying.
No, I know what you're saying.
I know what you're saying.
No
but
one
yeah,
does. We love the Spider.
We love the Spider-Man. All 3 of them.
Spider-Man.
But I guess that's
Isn't that a beautiful thing to say? The Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man.
So nice to say.
That's a new thing, guys. You start saying Spider-Man now.
Bro, now it's up to
Not
Miles
Spider-Man,
Morales,
Spider-Man.
bro. Whenever he's coming in,
when
Miles Morales comes in, I will consider it complete.
Yep.
We need me some Spider-Man 2099, bro.
I was thinking that too, but I prioritized Miles Morales before.
And Spider-Gwen.
And Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen. Yeah.
Everyone else can.
Yeah, they're Spider-Pig, bro.
Spider-Pig.
Once we get Spider-Ham, then we're good.
Into the Spider-Verse.
As long as John Mulaney gets an MCU credit.
Yeah.
That's
his voice acting right there.
That's when it's complete.
Yeah, and then he'll be on the MCU homepage.
There you go. I guess that's a wrap. In Williams' way, with the
Spider-Man. Way.
The only way.
The Spider Bros.
We're the Spider Bros. We signing out. Peace.
Bye.
Bye, guys.